Fiordland 2025 Light River, boys made it in. Got all our gear. The other party setting up the MIA tent over there. We lost a day due to clag and shitty weather yesterday, and they just managed to get us in today, so we're into day 2 already and we're just setting up base camp. We're going to get set and then we are motoring upriver on a mission, hopefully. Dill's popped up his base camp tent, a couple of tarp, fly, a few luxuries for the base camping under here, table, beers, chairs. Just the 3 of us on this trip, me, Brad and Dylan, 2 Dylans, so weather doesn't look too flash for the whole period, but we're hopefully going to have some windows here and there, a couple of days where we can get up and get some stuff done. So base camp's getting set up, we'll get repacked to pack light and we're going to boost upstream, planning to be up there for a couple of nights, fingers crossed. Well, we've been on a big mission up the true Light River itself since getting into base camp. 4.5 hours, a bit of navigating some tricky bits and typical Fiordland bush. Soaked at the moment, it's been raining the last 2 hours, but we've just found this bloody good little campsite that some good buggers told us about before we came in. It's almost 6 o'clock now, so we're gonna get some tents up, get some shelter, have a bit to drink. Pretty thirsty, and yeah, we'll see what happens. We bumped a hind on the way in and there's a stag, let out just a couple of roars off in the distance over here, but nothing to get us motivated for like the last 2 hours of the drizzly weather, so we'll probably pitch up in camp and see what tomorrow brings up, carry on further up hopefully. Perfect little mossy terrace next to this creek. It's pretty lucky because everywhere else there's no way you'd pitch a tent. Dill's pitched up his hammock and the trees in here, which is pretty mint, so he's sorted. But those real meals do it. We're just packing up at the moment. We got 2 good days. We finally got an in-reach weather forecast, so today's beautiful, going to be sunny hopefully. Tomorrow should be the same, and then tomorrow night the rain arrives. So we're packing up and we're going to take all our camp gear with us, carry on missioning up the Light River itself, see where we get to, see what happens. We're just staying flexible really. We might end up camping up there tonight, or we'll see how far we get with a half day's walk, knowing it was about a half day to here, so we know sort of where we can get to get back to base camp in a full day's walk is the plan anyway. Just trying to get around Lake Dale at the moment. She's a big job. Pretty tricky. Oh well, we finally made it around Lake Dale. Started up in the saddle, up in there's where our camp was last night. Holy. What's that, about 3 hours? We weren't pushing overly hard, just picking along, but typical Fiordland, 3 hours to do that. Just out on the swampy terrace, it's pretty dodgy, get wet feet real easy, but just wanted to break out of the wet bush for a little bit. Make a brew, I think. Coffee time. Finally got up out of the swamp. Found a really mint campsite up in here. There's a bull, stag, straight across there that's been going all morning, and he's intermittent. Now it's the middle of the day. And then up valley up here is another one that's been going hard all morning and same middle of the day, so he's just real intermittent. We just checked the weather forecast and tomorrow's our only good day. On to the days following, multiple days of like heavy rain, so we really want to keep pushing up the river, but we're just not going to have the time. Pitched camp here, northern end of Lake Dale. Chase him and push up river this afternoon, and then we'll fall back here tonight. Hopefully have a crack at him first thing in the morning, and then probably a cut-off of like 10 o'clock at 11 o'clock at the latest tomorrow. We're going to have to mission back to base camp. We really need to get back before that 40 mil plus of rain comes in and lifts the river. It's pretty niggly. We're not going to make it anywhere near as far up the light river as we want, but that's the weather we've been dealt. Only 2 good days, unfortunately. We've had a stag let out a roar. Couple of roars just up in here. He's only about 150 of that up above us. Oh, you ripper. On the board. Yeah, boy. Got this guy sparked up, and we went back and forward for shit, probably the last like 30 minutes. And in the end we were like, he's not going to budge. He's up on this high ground in his posse, and we were down below, and in the end we got him going enough that we're like, I'll sneak in. And I've been climbing up through some deep, noisy shit. No way to not make noise, and he was on to me on his pad up the top here, and he was just standing just here looking down at me, and I just looked up, blimmin', seen his head and his antlers just staring down at me as they do in the raw. Lined him up, boom, straight through here. Yeah, boy. What do you reckon, boys?
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad?
Not bad. Stoked.
Bloody did it. In Fiordland, Light River. Day 2. Absolutely pumped. We got it done. This big old boy. Thick timber, big mane, big body on him. Be curious to get him aged, but just a big old red battler. Hey, no, not a red, Fiordland Wapiti. So, stoked. How good.
Dylan's making me carry all the meat from his stag so he can look cool carrying the head.
Our campsite's up on a ridge line, quite elevated, not near a creek, so the boys are on a water mission. Cheers, boys.
I imagine you're going to put sound over top of this.
Probably some music or something.
Penis, penis, penis.
Probably not now. We're just woken up, morning of day 3. Stag over here and a stag over here straight across from camp. So one up here is going pretty hard. This one here is a bit intermittent, but we're going to drop down, shoot across and try have a crack at these guys first thing this morning. We're going to have to boost out before the rain gets here late this afternoon. So into it. It was a pretty exciting morning. Unfortunately, as soon as we crossed the river, like we kind of suspected, these 2 stags that are up in this opposite side, they must be holding hinds. As soon as we let out that first roar, that young satellite came in. Wasn't worth shooting. Obviously, just a young fuck, he would only be like 2 or 3 years old. Cool bit of footage though. Unfortunately, the lens fogged up a little bit. But yeah, as soon as I let out a roar, the fella that satellite was hanging around must have hinds, and he shut shop and pushed off, I'd say. Hence the satellite stag. And then we've pushed up to this other guy, and he's just hardly making any noise, real cagey, not doing anything, and we're out of time. So we've got to get back to camp and gap it. It's always good trying to go a different way on your way out. We just went straight up and over this knob behind us from camp. It took us about 20 minutes to this waterfall here off Lake Dale. Whereas when we went in yesterday, we skirted around the edge, mission through the swamp around the other side bluffs. That took us like an hour and a half, 20 minutes. Oh, at least we know the way to go now for any time in the future. Anyone coming into the block later on, hit me up. Bloody rain's a few hours early. Typical. We've made pretty good progress on the mission out. Amazing the difference it makes when you know where you're going and find a few efficiencies in places. Just pulled up for lunch here on this nice little sort of terrace on this ridge. We've got a good view out onto this country out here, and there's a nice sweeping bush face over here where we did hear a stag let out a few moans when we were walking up and through here on the way in 2 days ago. So let out a few roars, have lunch. See him moving down there. What? Oh, there he is. Yeah. Over right. Yep. Go down there. Never managed to get another look at that stag. Played a bit of game of cat and mouse for a wee while. He just kept on moving and he was all over the place. And we're making our way back to the main valley now and crossing the side creek that was real shitty to get up. Coming back out, we haven't found where we crossed. We crossed at what looked like a good place, but we've ended up bluffed out. I think we found a way down, so we're slowly picking through. Definitely raining now. 45 minutes hopefully back to base camp. Hour at most. It's 5 o'clock now, so been a big day. The legs are starting to feel it. Get ready, boys. Get ready. Chuck around then. Got the camera. There he is. There he is. There he is. Close. That was pretty epic. We're on the march back to base camp and we're on the flats now, not far, and we heard a couple of bellows across here as we're coming through the bush. We popped out on the edge here on the river. We're like, oh, I'll give him a roar, see what happens, and bloody roared him out onto the riverbed. Young fella. Action stations at first were thinking, fuck Bradley, shoot him, shoot him. But fucking, he turned out to just be a little fella. Jumping the gun, getting too excited. Bloody awesome. Bit of a bugger, it's pretty wet, and my camera lens is all fogging up in this friggin' camera, so the footage is a bit average, but we got him on video anyway. I think so. These fellas trying to keep their boots dry. They're already wet. Your boots are already wet. Mine are wet. That's Fiordland. Your boots are always wet. Oh, made it. Made it. We left camp after that hunt this morning at like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, 11 and...
It's 6:30 now.
Mmm!
Like 7.5 hour day?
Yeah, it's a big day on the feet after already doing a morning hunt.
I'm pretty ready to get this boy off my back. We did that trip up the hill, he would have carried 3 or 4 cans of V up there. Oh, he'd just have a V and a cigarette for breakfast. A bit of a fucked up shape, but we'll sort stuff out. Bread. 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 That Tanova's like.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You go, Brad.
Yeah.
That was...
Oh, that's good. Cheers, bro. When we got back to camp yesterday, there's geese shit everywhere up the river. There were 2 geese just in here on our campsite flat, and we managed to run them down because it's all trees, they couldn't get out. Ran it down and got it, so we're going to have goose breast for lunch. Pretty wet and shitty day today as forecast. Just around camp, drinking coffee, eating food. A few camp repairs when the wind funnels through and hammers our tarps. Pretty slow going. The old tide's come in with all the rain we got today, and she's fucking flooding everywhere. The lads have fucking got water creeping in by the MIA over here. When's high tide?
Another hour or so.
High tide's in another hour. Holy shit. Still got a bit of land to work with, but it's creeping in, eh boys?
Much more real estate to work with.
Pretty wild. Rain has been pumping in all day. It's 5:30 in the evening now and the tide's right in. Over in here is where the helicopter landed us, and where the other boys that we're with, like you would have just seen, is where the MIA and stuff is set up. And the tide backs up in there, and then the water pumps down, and it all sort of meets in this area in here. And all the low-lying areas is where the high tide and stuff comes through. So my top tip is, if you're coming into the Light River, don't camp out there where the helicopter lands you, because you'll get flooded out. Looks like they're all good because the MIA is on the highest bit you can get, but the rest of it is flooded with this high tide and this hectic rain. Helicopter lands you there, just come further upstream just a little bit to where we are here. This nice stretch through here is way higher. Well, not way higher, but it's just enough. And like we're miles up from where the water is and around, and we're sweet as. This is over the other end. You can see where the water's come in all in here, all the tidal stuff that's all backed up from the river out there. We've still got quite a bit of elevation before it'll get to us, so we're pretty good. And then if you come over here, our camp is directly behind us, and now there's another plateau here that's real solid. It's just a bit bumpier and rockier in there, but you could set up there if you needed as well. That's solid as, right next to the river. That's where the helicopter lands you. There's a whole lot of master chefing going on. Dill's got another loaf of bread going in the pot, in the billy. We got a stew going in here. Bradley's on the potatoes. And it's still pissing down outside. Whee! Holy hiccup!
Good? Yep.
Good to go.
Yeah, boy!
So good.
Maybe a little bit late tomorrow. Oh, sorry, Sunday.
We've had goose, we've had venison, now we got fish for dinner. All sourced from Light River, Fiordland. Yes, boys! Mashed spuds, onions. Dill's is done up. Another loaf of bread. Bloody marvellous, boys.
Good to go.
Alright, we're woken up this morning. We've got a 2-day weather window on the forecast. It's cleared up nicely. The river's dropped right down, which is mint. So we've packed up and we're boosting up the east branch. Hopefully camp there tonight, hunt tonight and tomorrow morning, and then we've got to be back by tomorrow night again before the rain comes in on Monday. So quick mission to go and do it. Hopefully we can pull something for one of the boys, but see how we go.
Deeper than it likes.
Just a little fella. Just crossed the river through here. It was marginal. Had to take all that shit off and link up arms and get through. It was about waist deep. If the river was any higher, it would be no go. And Bradley lost both his crocs halfway across, so they're on their way out to Sutherland Sound. Bugger! That was pretty cool. Just snuck up here. I let out a roar. And a young stag popped out about 100 metres up through the bush up there and come out. Seen a few young stags lately, but we're still trying to find another big boy. We just bumped a couple of hinds, and then Bradley saw a stag, but never got a look at anything other than his antlers and him moving away. Not far off the flats of the east branch now. Yep, I see him. I see him. I see a shooter. He's looking straight at us. Gone. Just roared in a stag. Roared up here and he comes straight in. And we could see, and I could see his face just through the trees here. Bradley could see an antler, but didn't get a shot. And I think he winded us. Don't think he was very big anyway. Incredible country. Left base camp at 9:15 this morning. It's now 2:15 in the Arvo now, so about 5 hours on the trot, swimming in the bush, climbing up around to the east branch up here. So you're now broken onto the flats. We had some real cool animal encounters on the way in, a couple of young stags. And then when we got here, a lot of yearling hind jumped off the terrace into the river and swam across the river just here. He didn't want to shoot it. Hard case. We're starving anyway, so into lunch, confirm if we're going to camp here or a little bit further up, and then we'll hunt the arvo. Nice young stag. You got him. Oh yeah, there he is. He's gonna step into that gap, bro. Yeah, he's a shooter, bro. He's a shooter. Shoot him, bro. He's a shooter. Shoot him again. Come on, shoot him again. There. Right. There. Nice, bro. Nice, bro.
Right.
Yeah, boy. I didn't get the animal on video, but I got the GoPro on. Oh, man. That first shot was a tricky one, eh?
Yeah, I didn't have much of a look at him, but
I saw that he
did he flinch?
I just had this feeling from your first shot where I was like, I don't think that was solid, you know? Yeah, shooting through the scrub. Yes, boy! Oh, yeah, boy. How good was that, man? We were just sitting in camp, setting up the tent where we were going to camp tonight, and then this fella started bellowing up the valley floor. Brought him into our camp's literally just through there on the river flats. Bloody good, bro. Good shit.
Decent animal.
How good. Look at that. Good shit, bro. Yeah! You love that. Literally where our campsite is going to be for tonight, and we were setting up when we heard the bellow and shot from just there. Stag's just up in there. Bloody epic. How good is that? It's about time we got Bradley on the board for the trip. How good. Mandatory swig. Staggy boy on the ground, get it in ya.
That's good.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Well, that was a bloody awesome day. Saw quite a few deer today actually. We probably saw 3 or 4 young stags, like 2-3-year-old stags, a few hinds, and then obviously the stag that Brad pulled the trigger on just in here. So bloody awesome day. Well worth the effort to trudge our way up here into the East Branch. Bloody stoked. Gonna just chill out now. We've only got about an hour of light left and have some dinner and pull a forecast to make a plan for tomorrow. Probably hunt the upper reaches of the valley, and then we've got to probably get back tomorrow night before the rain on Monday. So awesome. closed in on them, and we've been sneaking and navigating through a heap of hinds. We're probably like 5 or 6 hinds this morning with the friggin' stags. He's going off up here now. As we've snuck in, they've just been pushing up higher and higher, right up the walls, playing cat and mouse. Well, Dylan and Dylan have taken off on a stalk. We're up in there. There was a real nice stag roaring up on this terrace. It's got quite a bit for the last 10 minutes or so he'd pushed into that face a wee bit more. There's another stag out over in these terraces here. He's still roaring real well. Hopefully Dills and Dylan are onto something up in there. True Fiordland fashion. 10 PM rain forecast has started at 10 AM, so hopefully they're not too much longer, otherwise that river crossing is going to be interesting on the way out. We've just been stalking in on a stag that's been just right in here roaring, close to the gap, and we just got around that tree and I seen him like 10 metres in there and he was onto us, looking at us. By the time I fucking had the gun up and ready to shoot, he bucketed off. Man, that was like a good hour's stalk to get in on him. And he just got the jump on us. I just needed 5 seconds. There's still a stag going further along here and there's one down the flats, but we're on a bit of a deadline to get back to camp and get out before the rain this evening, so might be out of time.
Yeah, when you boys were just up there, I was down in the creek and I could see a hind up through 3 trees looking at me. And after a couple of minutes, she sort of moseyed off to the right and then he walked out into the clear bloody ferns. Big, good length on him, real nice widespread. Couldn't quite tell if he was a bloody 8 or a 10, but big tops on him.
Bugger.
Okay.
I never got a real decent look at him at about 10 metres, but I could see he's big bodied with big black mane. While we've been up here chasing, there's our stag we got in on there, and there's another one further along up there, up in the head basin of East Branch. There's like 3 different boys spread around up in here, all going off as well. We might get a quick chance at a one down low here, but yeah, running out of time. My f***ing eyes, eh? Clearly see deer, but I was like, I can't tell if those antlers or not. Oh, it was not bad. Just a little baby. Well, we had one last crack at a stag that's been letting out some bellows on the flats up here. We just spoosed it in there. But I don't know what happened. We closed into about 100 metres and then we never heard him again. So whether he got our wind or what, don't know, but never got eyes on. Absolute unreal place up the East Branch. We've seen quite a few deer this morning, hinds and stags roaring around the head basin. It's such a shame that we can't stay up here. I'd love to hunt the rest of the day. It's just we haven't had a weather window longer than 2 days on this trip, which is a bummer, so we've just got to get to back to base camp. There's big rain again tomorrow, and then Tuesday, day after tomorrow, is our pickup day to be out of the block, so bummer. Time is up. Epic day though, so awesome. Right boys, last big decoy of the trip, right out and around and back out to base camp. We've been some sad boys sitting around having lunch and packing up camp, walking out of the valley up there knowing that we're done, no more hunting. Oh, got to get back to base camp. Sadness. It's emotional, eh, Dill?
I am an emotional man.
Oh, sad boys. Sad boys. Cheers, boys. I'll put that in the video, Oh, it's day 8 now. Got back to camp yesterday and it was about a 4.5 hour walk, I think. Not too bad. We made pretty good work of it. As always, it was all downhill to get back to camp, and like everything, once you know where you're going, you're just more efficient at it. So got back to camp last night, chilled out, and as forecast, it's been a bit rainy overnight and it's a bit drizzly this morning. Really was just planning on a camp day and fly out tomorrow, but we're just talking to the chopper company now, Milford Helicopters, just to see what the odds are of a pickup today, because if we're only going to be sitting in camp today, pick us up today, that'd be bloody handy, and then me and Dill can hopefully go for a tar hunt on our way back up the South Island before catching the ferry home. Would be pretty cool. So just had confirmation about 20 minutes ago the chopper's going to be here at 10:30, so been a bit of a rush. We're getting everything packed up. Rain's settled in now, so hopefully they can still get into us, but there's no wind. The clag looks like it's relatively high, so hopefully he can pick us up and whiz us around the coast out to Milford. So yeah, a bit of a dash in the rain, get everything packed up, and the chopper will be here in a second. Bloody good hustle, boys.
Yeah.
Now we just got to hope that he actually turns up, because the rain's set in pretty good right now. She's a bit claggy. Surely.